Okay, so at the end of last session, you guys had made it to this nightclub up in Newark, New Jersey. It was what, 3 p.m. at night? Somebody refresh my memory. 3 p.m. in the
Three in the
afternoon.
Yeah.
afternoon.
3 in the
Yep.
afternoon. Okay, so you made it up there. It's 3 in the afternoon. Still pitch black outside. Um, Thomas did some surveillance on the area. You guys used your new knowledge of how your Nightbane senses work to determine there were a couple Nightbane in this nightclub. It was called QXTs. It's like a goth club up in North Jersey, Newark. Along with some other things, other supernatural creatures. You aren't really sure what they are just yet. You later learned that they were vampires or something that calls themselves vampires. A little bit different, but still, you're like, I don't know. That sounds like a vampire. To refresh memory, they're kind of like Blade from the Marvel comics. They can go outside in the sunlight, but it's still painful. They look a little bit more human, but they still need to drink blood. They're basically vampires, but not. And the Nocturne said that they would fill you in more on vampires later as well. You guys were talking about these boxes, and they had these different symbols on them. And the Nocturne, I believe, called one of them. That's the seal of Tiamat. And,
Yeah, that's right.
And they were talking about different artifacts that could be found inside of them that looked like bracelets or necklaces, different types of jewelry. And these are magical artifacts that were sealed and hidden and supposed to be kept away from the Nightlords. Nobody knew where they were, but they had some ideas, the Nocturnes, and they said the Seekers also had some ideas as well. And with everything going on now, with the Nightlords invading Earth, those artifacts would be of pretty big importance. And they were trying to figure out where to go looking for those artifacts based on some of the stuff that they knew, even though some of these reports are undoubtedly are false. Like, these things are not real. Like half the stuff you see in the museum, it's a replica. It's not real, but we have some ideas of where you could go to find these things. There's one reliable. And as they were going through that with you, there was some commotion downstairs. At first, you heard some motorcycles, engines rumbling, Harley Davidson style loud pipes. And then the door got banged on. One of the other associates of the Nocturnes in the room went downstairs. I think it was, I can't remember his name. I'm such a bad GM. But nobody liked him. He was kind of like, the goth kid. It's like, I'm Ultra McEdgelord. And like, yeah, whatever, Edgelord. Go check the door. And he kind of got his face punched in. And a couple big surly biker types walked in, and they started demanding to talk to somebody in charge, because where's their money? Just because whatever's craziness is going on outside doesn't mean that the deals that you guys have between them and the group and the Nocturnes are put to the side. They need what they're promised, and obviously they need it now, faster, with everything that's going on. I can't remember how many of you went downstairs. I remember Alistair went downstairs, but Alistair's not here today, so he is turned into a cardboard cutout and slipped behind the bar. Same thing with Isabella, so it's just you three. So I don't know if you were still upstairs or if any of you have gone downstairs.
I think I left before all that happened.
Okay.
Like
I
I
feel
remember, I remember coming in and meeting people and then hearing the bikes, but I think I had to leave when that happened.
Yes, and we ended very shortly after you left.
Yeah.
I think I just finished the description of who they were and what they looked like, and then we called the session. So I think you were still, if that's the case, you were still upstairs in the office.
Okay.
Downstairs where we saw the antiques on the tables, right?
Downstairs, where like the main bar room was, is where this is happening. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I was downstairs.
Okay. So what you see is, like I said, a couple big biker type looking guys, and they're wearing the denim vest and a leather vest, and they're carrying the patch of the Warlords, which is one of the more well-known national like motorcycle clubs out there. Think Hell's Angels or an organization like that. As far as notoriety goes, like they're in every state. They drive big bikes. They drive loud bikes. They got big beards. They have the tattoos. They're kind of like on that level of fame.
The cut off leather vests.
Yeah.
And the one guy's popping his finger into the little Nocturne's chest, and he's like, "We were told that we would have our goods when we showed up. And I know it's supposed to be tomorrow night, but all hell's breaking loose and we want them now." And the little guy's just like, I don't have any say in this. And he's going to call up, and I can't remember the guy's name, so we're just going to retcon his name. The guy upstairs' name is going to be Ray. Ray, I need help. Victor's here, and he wants his stuff. I don't know where any of it is. I don't know anything about this. And Ray's the guy, is the person in charge here, the head Nocturne of this group. And he's going to stand up, pull his hair back, tie it off, put it in a hair tie, and do a ponytail. And he's like, "All right, it appears we have business to handle downstairs. Would you like to join us?" And he's going to motion to everybody in the room.
Is it wise we should come? It sounds like personal business.
At the very least, it'll be informative. Come meet more of your kind, fledglings.
I look over at Daniel.
Well, might as well.
All right. Is Thomas still nearby?
Yeah, I'm just kind of absorbing, very quiet, not trying to upset anybody. Is
All right.
not, yeah.
All right. He's just gonna kind of look over to you, and kind of just like stay close.
Okay.
Like I don't want to lose you around it. I don't know what we're dealing with.
Not a child. I just don't want to rub anybody here the wrong way.
I wasn't suggesting you were a child. I was just saying stay close. I said the same thing to Daniel.
Well, thanks, Dad.
I connect eyes with Daniel for a second and then back over to where we're walking.
Entering the room that has, following Ray and entering the downstairs bar room area. Ray, he's wearing he's your stereotypical goth guy that probably should have grown out of the scene, at least with what he's wearing 20 years ago. He's like that 40-year-old guy wearing scene gear that you look at and you're like, why, man? Why? Just time to button the shirt up and cover those chest hairs. But he's got charisma. You have to give him that. And he walks in the room. He's like, Vicky. And the big guy, the big biker, looks over and he's like, "I know you." And he's like, "Vicky, the deal was a box for the goods. Do you have our box?" And he goes, Victor looks at him and goes, "No, we ran into some trouble. The group that we sent out there to pick it up found the hotel, and it was just a complete murder scene. A car was melted on top of a couple humans. There was a body shredded in the parking lot. There were blown up Ashmendi in a room. Looked like somebody set a bomb off. I don't know who you are and what you thought you were doing sending my men out there to get crushed, but we're not having any of it. I want our goods. I want them now. You know as good as I do what they ran into out there. And we are not getting caught out in the wind." Victor straightens, Ray straightens up. And he goes, no box, no goods. And at this point, Victor's gonna kind of just like stretch, like do this like, flex thing, and he's gonna take on his Morphus. It's just like it's kind of like one of the cartoons where it's like he breathes in, like the character breathes in and then breathes out, and he's a completely different shape. Think the Zarbon transformation from Dragon Ball Z, if you've seen that one. It's just that quick inhale, exhale, new form. And this is... Oh, sorry, go on.
Sorry, I was just saying, I was thinking more like Brutus, but yeah.
Brutus.
Popeye?
Okay, yeah. He looks kind of like Brutus. No, his human form looks a lot like Brutus, if we're going to be honest. But his reptilian form kind of reminds you of equal parts fish and reptile.
Okay.
Kind of like if you took Raptor or Riptor from Killer Instinct, the raptor, and you gave him like some fish fins around his head and on his back and arms, like a deep one from Lovecraft mixed with a Gila monster.
Okay.
Got you.
And he's gonna bellow out, "We need our supplies. They are coming here. They are already here, and we are not prepared to deal with them. We had a deal. We'd keep you safe. We'd get you your box. Nothing was mentioned that we would be dealing with the Nightlords. Those were Ashmendi in the room. Those weren't hollow ones. Those weren't hounds." And these are all terms that, like, you don't know any of these terms except for now, like Nightlords. You picked that up from your time with the Railroad. And hounds. You know what hounds are. In fact,
Yes.
wait. I think you guys you guys fought one Ashmendi. Can't remember. No, you did not. You did not fight an Ashmendi. But you're familiar with hounds. You're familiar with Nightlords. And hounds are scary enough to you. These things sound like they might be a little more scary than hounds, the way he's putting it up, because he said, these are not hounds. He's going to turn his attention to you. He's like, "And what'd you do? Find a couple puppies to bring home? Real nice time to try and housebreak some new blood." I'm just going to turn this over to you guys now.
What is Ray's comment? Does he answer anything?
Oh, okay. To the puppies.
Well,
So
in response to what he just said.
Ray's going to reiterate, like, Vicky, man, we told you the deal was, if you wanted these goods, the deal was for the box. We absolutely need that box in order to proceed with what we're doing. No box, no goods. And we never brought these puppies home. These are strays. They found us. It's not our job to housebreak them. The Railroad's doing a good enough job of that all on their own.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, you're welcome. Anything?
So he was supposed to get, and I'm looking at Ray, and it's like, he was supposed to get a box for you. He didn't, because there was something called a Ashmendi.
Victor's going to look over and he's going to say, 2 Ashmendi. There were 2 of those worms' corpses in a hotel room. At least that's what my men were saying. And they said it looked like they were exploded. There were some major explosives that went off in that room.
Okay. So an Ashmendi is a worm?
You guys really are pups. They're a 10 to... This one was 15. These 2 are about 15 feet long. Think a worm with a giant mouth full of fangs and other tentacles that slap around them and just pull everything in the area into their mouths. They can also turn into practically anything they want. They're shapeshifters like us, but not locked to one additional form. They can shift into almost anything.
I think that kind of makes me like look around and trying to like perceive people around the room a little more.
Mm-hmm.
And then I look back over. Is it Victor's the biker?
Mm-hmm.
Anything.
Nearly.
What's the nearly part?
Well, they can't turn into bugs. But most animals, most people, and from what I'm hearing from some of our other chapters out there, we have Ashmendi taking on the forms of politicians, police chiefs. This is an invasion. I'd say the invasion's over. This is victory, and they're mopping up out there.
How would we know any of us are not an Ishmendi in this room?
And so he's going to say, he's going to look at you and goes, can you sense what I am? And the answer to that in game is yes, you can. Your Nightbane sense to sense other Nightbane. You can sense he's a Nightbane.
Yeah, but I can't particularly know who I'm standing in front of is the only thing I sense. They'd hide in groups, correct?
They, Shmendi are usually strong enough that they don't need to hide in groups. And they never work with Nightbane. No self-respecting Bane would ever be on the side, would ever work with the Nightlords or their minions. We would tear them apart with our bare hands sooner than that. We don't compromise our morals, unlike these guys here working with the bloodsuckers.
Okay. So I look at Daniel. So it's safe to say, and I look amongst the group, that we're in a sense of trustworthiness to maybe find a way to make amends between this. We're all new to this, but I'm sure we can work something out.
Well, that means that we have to find the box that they were looking for, right?
And I'm sorry, who else could be looking for this box aside from them? I mean, we get this box, great. This is a pretty important box, I would think.
Ray's going to say it's one of the boxes from Babylon. This one had the
Spaceship?
Seal. What?
The spaceship?
No, the ancient kingdom of Babylon. We were talking about the box with the Tiamat seal. Well, this box had a seal of Apsu on it.
You can see a blank stare come across my face.
And Victor, Raymond notices and he goes, okay. Tiamat was the dragon goddess of Babylon. Apsu is her forever sleeping consort. He was even stronger than she was. His full name, as some people know him, would be Apsu of the Abyss. He is and Victor's going to cut him off and go, doesn't matter what it was. The fact is that thing's asleep. We don't want it to wake up. It could be almost as bad as the Nightlords. But yes, the box had his seal on it. So besides us looking for it, obviously the humans are. They had a whole military unit out there, and they got fragged. So you got us, you got the humans, you got the Nightlords, judging by the Ishmendi corpses and something. I'm guessing the humans took them out, but something took out those humans. And it had power behind it. Major mojo.
Sounds like this one might be a little beyond us. I mean, we rushed into one situation. I can't say we even really made it better.
I agree.
Victor's going to say, look, here's the deal. Give us one crate of the weapons and the supplies, and we'll call it even. Work put in, work done. You can keep the other 2 crates. But we want something for our trouble.
What if we just gave you a promise of aid? It seems like that's more beneficial to you than a bunch of weapons.
You want to join the Warlords, little one?
I never said join. I said help.
What? How could you help? How could you help the Warlords?
That's what we're
By what
talking
he
about doing
suggested.
right now. We're talking about helping you right
Yeah.
now. What are you talking about?
Yeah, if we have to find this box, it's for them, correct?
The box, Victor, not Victor. Raymond's going to say the box is one of the boxes that we need to find. Yeah.
Okay. So you need to find, and that's what they want.
It's one of the ones we were talking about upstairs in the office.
Okay.
This makes me believe that this box is legitimate, to be honest with you. The other ones we were going to go, I was going to send you to look at, could have very well been red herrings and wild goose chases of false items. You could have gone and found something that was made of plastic at some of these other places.
Well, I guess it's comforting that you were going to risk our lives with something serious now over something fake.
I did tell you upstairs that I had no idea whether or not all the other sites were going to yield legitimate items. To be fair, I did tell you that. This,
To be fair.
Okay.
this does give me more
Well,
pause that these are
fair.
real, considering the carnage that our friend here is explaining his people saw.
Okay. So if we go find this box for you, Victor, what are you guys going to do for us?
The Warlords always pay their debts. If you work with us, I'll give you an option. You could either be honorary probies,
Or the mystery box.
or we'll owe you a favor that you could call in. And we're nationwide.
So you're on our side.
Nationwide.
We're just going to come out of all these puns right now.
We're going to do it. Very punny.
Yeah, well, next people we run into will be State Farm.
There is a faction that kind of works like it. Never mind. We'll get to that. Maybe we'll get
Okay.
to that.
Okay. We'll get, if we get the box, then we'll discuss more. Do you have any clues of where possibly these might be?
This particular box, no. To be completely fair and honest, no idea. We saw 2 sets of tracks leaving this hotel. Motel. The motels are the ones with the doors on the outside.
Yeah.
We saw 2 sets of tracks leaving this motel. Both of them were going out into the desert. One heading east, and the other one going east, but then veering north, and still kind of going to the northeast. We lost. This is the damnedest thing. We lost track of it. Right as it hit this, like it looked almost like a helicopter might have came and picked them up, because the ground was all windswept and the tracks were blown away at this one point, and there were a couple skids in the sand. So One of my boys used to be military. He thinks that a helicopter might have came down and picked them up. And the other set of
Well.
tracks just disappeared. They just stopped.
Okay. Well, from what I'm understanding by your disclosure, sounds like both are dead ends.
I have no way of tracking them further. That would require some mojo. Our thing's not mojo.
Gonna look over at Ray. Where's the closest helicopter pad? At any place like a hospital?
Yeah, the Newark Mercy's got a helicopter pad on the roof. But, something to tell you, he's talking about a hotel out in New Mexico. It's not just right down the road over at the beach. Where do you think all the sandy desert is? So,
Right.
This is something you're doing. You're going to need to commit to it. Or we can go look for those other boxes.
What do you think, Daniel?
If we know where other boxes are, then if we found other boxes, would that assist in any way with helping them?
Everything
You
in the
already-
box. Oops, sorry, go on.
Well, I was going to say, he already said that he can verify what's in those boxes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, it helps us too, I believe.
Ray's going to say each of the boxes is going to, if they're legit boxes, each one of those boxes is going to contain magical artifacts that can be used to fight the Nightlords.
Okay. I mean, it sounds like in and all around, it would behoove us to definitely go search for these other boxes.
I feel like it's all we got.
Okay. What do you think, Thomas?
I don't know what to think with all of this. It just all sounds terrible, and then we're just putting ourselves out. I don't know.
I do concur with you, Thomas. I wish there was a little bit of a better reasoning, because honestly, we weren't even sure what we was running into with you and your crew, Ray. Let alone yours, Victor.
Raymond is going to remind Victor that wasn't the only box that you could have gone after, too. Each box, we said, will pay you a crate. And Victor's
Some going to teach us how to use these items.
Victor's going to... so go on.
Yeah, no. Go ahead. Sorry.
Say, to respond to that, Victor's going to say, the thing about these artifacts and anything coming from from that period, they teach you how to use them. They kind of all have a bit of a mind of their own. At least that's what the legends say. They choose their wielder, and they'll teach their wielder how to use them.
So then there's a good chance that even if we get these, we can't use them.
You personally? Correct. But that's why the Nocturnes and us are trying to collect them. We're trying to get them in the hands of some badass Nightbane who have the ability to rip these Nightlords to shreds when they show their faces.
Okay.
But then again, we might be the chosen one. I mean, who knows?
I make sure Alistair doesn't hear that.
Alistair would have already agreed to do all of this. So really,
The tearing the faces off those guys would have been the onset too. Sorry, go ahead, Bill.
I would think if Death was here, we would be doing this, or he would be doing everything he could to get us to do this.
Mm-hmm. This is my bombastic side.
So I'll be his proxy and say do this.
Okay.
Sounds about right.
All right.
I'm all about it. So I'm a D&D geek too, so we'll see.
So is that a 3-way consensus? Giggity.
I believe so.
All right. So Raymond's going to say, all right, so you have options here. You can head out to New Mexico and try and pick up the trail of the one that got lost in the desert. If you're going to do that, we're going to need to get you something that can help track magic. And I'm sure we got something laying around in a closet here that can function as kind of a magical compass.
Is there anything closer to us, the vicinity we're in?
Yes, that's the other way I was going to go with this, because there are 2 other boxes. All these boxes come in 3s. The Apsu box we know exists now. We're pretty sure that it's legitimate. It's floating around somewhere out west. At least that was the last place we saw it. We did have reports that the Seekers and Ruckers had found a box. This one was the Ishtar box. And they said that they had it in one of their research labs out in Rutgers. You know how those archaeological eggheads are. They get their hands on something old and they like to hide it down in the basement and play with their little brushes and take their time cataloging things. And then the Tiamat box, the last time we had any kind of could it be, could it not be report would have been coming out of the Smithsonian down in DC. So if you're asking what's closest, the Rutgers Archives archaeological department will probably be the best closest one. But you don't have to go searching for these in any particular order. A box is a box, and that's if, that box is even legit or not. How many forgeries are found in different archaeological digs? But the Seekers, they're mages. So if it was fake, I'm pretty sure they would have, they'd be able to figure it out quite quickly. Whether or not they would share that information is a completely different story. But they'd be able to suss out the true thing from the false very easily.
Said Tiamat was rumored to be at the Smithsonian?
The Tiamat was rumored to be at the Smithsonian, yes.
Okay. Okay, so we've got 3 choices. Rutgers, which is relatively close. Smithsonian, which is a couple hours, maybe 5 hours away or so.
6-ish.
Okay. 5 the way I drive. And New Mexico for Apsu.
Yes. At least that's
Yeah,
where
we're gonna
started.
You're right. Let's Apsu have to just, it's off the table. We might as well go to Rutgers.
Yeah, we'll go to the closest place.
Okay.
Could we not get to Mexico faster through the Mirror Realm?
I mean, it's the same over there, isn't it?
Yeah, I believe it's the same distance. It's just different locations.
That's correct. It's the same distance. It's just you don't have to travel the same roads because the roads may or may not exist. Although, and Raymond's going to go on, it could be safer or it could be more dangerous. But you'd be
There's
crossing...
daylight over there.
we've heard reports of that, which is very unsettling. And Victor's going to kind of bristle and like go sink back down to his human form. He's like, "There's daylight in the Nightlands." Huh.
Yes.
Now we've heard everything. There's no
Well,
light in the Nightlands. That's why they call
We
them the
saw it.
Nightlands. And he's just going to stop. Like you said that, and that just cut him off, and he's gonna kind of like squint his eyes at you and be like,
Would Death be able to carry us with his jet engines?
It's only 85 miles an hour.
Yeah, I would say he's only 85 miles an hour, and he would have to stop periodically to cool them.
I'm not hearing a no.
The answer is not no.
Okay.
The answer is yes, because he in his Morphus he could hold up to 1,200 pounds comfortably. I believe somewhere around there. But he would have to stop periodically to cool the engines down, and he could only go 85 miles an hour. So that's roughly like if he was to go for 8 hours straight without a break, which I don't know that he could, you're looking at 4 days at that pace. Because it took me 4 days to drive from Jersey to Washington. So 3 days. We'll say 3 days at that pace.
Yeah, but that's not in a straight line, and that's with traffic. This would be unimpeded.
Yeah.
But once we get there, we still have to have something magical that would lead us in the direction that it went.
Right.
And if that person who has it has access to a helicopter, maybe the military's involved.
Starting to really sound like Babylon 5.
I still think Rutgers is the way to go.
I was just offering it up as a suggestion. Sorry. I didn't realize that I wasn't allowed to have good ideas.
No, your suggestion was fine, Thomas.
Obviously not. It's fine. Rutgers it is. Let's go.
All right.
Put it out.
All right.
Victor's going to look over and, oh, God, the little guy's name was Tracy. That's right. The one that everybody did not like was Tracy. He's going to say, Tracy, go get that box from on top of the that one cabinet upstairs. The one that has all the books in it. The box. And he's like, the junk box? He goes, yeah, the junk box. Hold up. One second, guys. And Tracy comes downstairs. He's got the junk box and hands it to Ray. Raven starts digging through it. And he finds this little thing. It's like a glass bottle. It's one of those greenish, like green, almost looking like a potion bottle, but he has a cork on the top. And he goes, okay, yeah, here we go. And he says, catch. And he throws it at, well, the group of you. Does anybody catch it?
I'll try to catch it.
You catch
I
it.
will too.
And either you both get your hands on it so it doesn't fall to the ground. And you have one of those really awkward stare in each other's eyes. Like,
And then we
holy
both
shit.
go at the same time and it smashes to the ground, yeah.
He's like, that'll light up in presence of strong magic.
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. I thought my music was off.
I had to talk to them. I have dogs. I talk back.
Who let the dog out?
Mine are actually behaving, which is amazing. So yeah, that'll light up in the presence of strong magic.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's further than a lead. That'll at least help us.
Yeah. Should help you out a bit.
Is there, these areas that we're going toward near Rutgers, is there anything we should be prepared for? No offense, I look over at Victor, but it looks like there's a bit of gang leaders here.
Rutgers is Rutgers. It's one of the more safe areas in Jersey. Wouldn't you think? Party school. But I mean, it is what it is out there now, and all hell's breaking loose.
Right. So
So
I'm sure some people are either trying to take up that place to make some new perimeters to keep themselves safe, whether that could be by defending it at all costs. So I just wondered if there was any word or anything going on at Rutgers, but from that suggestion, I guess we're going in blind.
I can tell you this as good as Goth McGothface over there can. The Eggheads got a place going on in Rutgers, and the Seekers are, while they're human, they got some mojo behind them. So they can protect their own. But Rutgers would be a wonderful target for the Nightlords. All the things that they got there. It's an institution of higher learning. Definitely a seat of power that they would like to have.
Understood. All right.
All right. So
sign a contract or
nope, no contracts signed or anything like that.
Got you.
These are all Nightbane. It's all, you do what we need you to do, or I'll throw a hex on you and turn you into a toad or something.
You could not turn me into anything worse.
He's gonna look over and you see the vamps that are working there with him. Like,
Can you actually turn him into a toad now?
No, I can't actually turn him
Thomas,
into
that's
anything.
not.
It was more of a threat of creativity. We have other ways to extract things should you betray us. Turning into a toad would be the least of your concerns.
Good to know. Thomas, you were really good at keeping your eyes peeled and under control in a lot of situations. So, would you like to carry the bottle?
I would not.
Right. I'll hold on to it then.
I just see whoever's in charge of that getting some bad karma coming their way.
All right.
And I'd rather be vigilant and able to watch without issue.
I respect that. Well thought out, Thomas.
Raymond's gonna look over Tracy and be like, give them one box of give Victor one box. Send one of the crates out the back. They did at least bring us a bunch of information. And he's gonna totter off to go do what he was told.
I'm glad we can all look at this from a fair perspective. And Daniel, whenever you're ready.
Well, before you head out, boys, Victor's gonna reach into his vest. He's gonna pop out 3 cards. And he's gonna hand each one of you a card. It's gonna have the Warlords logo on it, and it just says, "Everybody gets one." It's like, you run into trouble and you see one of ours out there, you give him this card.
Get out of jail free.
On the back of it, there's a phone
Is
number
this a
as well.
Monopoly card? Oh, I see. Okay.
It's a business card, and it's got their logo. It has the Warlords logo on it from the middle of their jacket, and underneath that logo it says everybody gets one. And on the back of it, it's got a phone number.
Right.
Cool.
Well, I'm gonna put my hand out to shake.
He's gonna shake your hand. It feels a little crushing. He is a big guy. He's like 6'4". He looks like Bluto from Popeye.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. And I put a hand out to Ray as well.
He's just gonna kind of do one of these like hand gestures, like, thank you. I don't shake hands, but have fun out there. and bring us back the box. Mechanically speaking, what those cards are, they're pretty much what you said. They're get out of jail free cards. So if you feel like you're in a spot, what you can do is you can have your character call the number on the back of that card, and it'll send over a Warlord Nightbane who will join the party and get you out of that issue, whether that's provide you transportation, if you all need like a ride in a van to get away from someplace or get to someplace, or you need extra support in combat, something along the lines, anything that that faction can do for you that's not just hand you a bunch of money and weapons. They might hand you a gun or two, some ammo, but they're not like a free grocery store. But they can give you some supplies, get you out of trouble, or assist you in combat. And you get each one of you has each one of you gets one of those, and so you'll trade the card in. That's your favor cashed in.
Okay. Makes sense to me.
Perfect. And then it's rolling to Rutgers.
Yep.
Any chance we can use that to have them go to Mexico?
Say that one more time.
Oh.
Here's your card to have them go to Mexico.
Yeah.
Have them go to Mexico and do the search, or get you to Mexico?
Or get us to Mexico. Yeah.
Well, have them do the search. They're still kind of doing it passively. But they've kind of given up, but they're more like, if we see it, we see it type situation. Get you to Mexico. They could get you to Mexico about as well as you could get you to Mexico now. So it would be they'd put you in the back of a van and drive you there. They don't have, this is a motorcycle club. They don't got jets or anything like that. But
Some guy from GTA just drops in. It's like, all right, let's go.
Yeah, but I mean, absolutely. If you want to be like, hey, can we cash this card in for a ride out there?
Quick transportation.
Yeah, they'll gladly get like a bus or a van that they own and get you out there. Like,
that's why I don't think it's out there faster through Nightbane ways.
There's most Nightbane don't like to travel through the Nightlands. If you ask him that, he'll tell you, like, we don't travel the wastes in the Nightlands if we can avoid it.
I just had like teleportation powers or something.
Oh, not our area of expertise. That level of mojo, you be talking to the Seekers.
Gotcha.
They're the ones who throw spells like that. We have some Nightbane powers, and he'll explain how one of the powers that the Nightbane do have for teleportation, and this will allow you, if you want to manifest it later, you can. It's called Shadow Step. And he explains to you the best we can do is walk into one shadow, and he does this, and step out of another one. So he walks into a shadow in this room, and he steps out, and he's upstairs on the balcony looking down on you. And then steps through that same shadow again and pops out behind you downstairs by the bar. But we need to be able to see where we're going. We need to be able to see the shadows we're going to step in and out of. But you could learn how to do this. So you just learned about Shadow Step. It is a Nightbane talent.
And what's the proximity again?
It's line of sight, pretty much.
Line of sight meaning if I had telescopic lens, I could see a shadow from so far away and just zip right into there.
That's amazing if it can.
So here's how Shadow Slide works. The Nightbane must... Oh, wait, no, not Shadow Slide. Shadow Door.
And Lily saw this American Girl doll
Nightbane
with
talents.
like braids in her hair. Yeah,
It's Shadow Slide. All right, so Nightbane must be in Morphous form for this power to work. Character becomes insubstantial shadow, or more accurately, like one of those mirages you can see on a paved road during a sunny day. The flickering shadow seems to sink into the earth and fades away. While in two-dimensional form, the Nightbane can slither along walls, across the ground, virtually invisible, and slide through any opening, no matter how narrow or airtight. The Nightbane's clothing, small personal effects are transformed. and any objects they're carrying up to 2 pp per pound can be brought with them. It doesn't have a range there.
Okay.
It's 10,
So-
10 per each minute the talent is maintained.
Sounds like something I'm gonna take.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Although, wait, does anybody have Lightning Rider?
Yes, I do.
Anybody else?
I don't think I do.
Death does,
That's
I believe.
Okay. Lightning Rider actually fits this as well. What Lightning Rider will allow you to do, the Night Beam becomes a being of pure electrical energy. Unless a great deal of PPE is spent, the electrical charge is weak and does not afflict damage. However, while in electrical form, the Night Bane can travel through conductive materials at enormous speeds. When the power is activated, the Night Bane disappears in a flash of electricity and leaps into the nearest conductive material. Metal or exposed wires work best. If no such material is around, the Night Bane appears to become a small pool of sparks, or a small crackling lightning ball that crawls around at a speed of 8. With the invention of the telephone and electrical wires, this talent came into its own and enables the Night Bane to travel from one corner of the world to the next in a matter of minutes through them. Some Night Bane have become extremely proficient in navigating telephone exchanges. The easiest, of course, was to call the place one wished to travel and then travel through the phone lines and jump out of the receiver. With the advent of computers and the internet, this power has become even more influential. A character with computer operations can understand the information superhighway and hitch rides on modem calls. A character with computer programming can become the ultimate hacker. So, what you could do, Daniel, is you could call somewhere in New Mexico, nearby, or that hotel, use your Lightning Rider to jump into the phone and jump out of the phone over there. Issue is, you could not bring anybody with you.
Yeah, but so two of us already have that power.
2 of you already have that power. The rest of you could learn it. The way you would learn it is you would spend 20 PPE, you'd burn it permanently. You deduct it from your character sheet. And you could learn that power at that point. However, it's only usable in Morphous form. And technically not available till 6th level, but it's already on some character sheets, so I'm going to kind of homebrew that away, because I didn't catch that, because that was in kind of distorted print in the book. So we'll say it's available now. Oh, wait, nope, Lightning Rider, no such thing. It's 15 points. I was looking at the power above it. Yeah, so 15 points to acquire it permanently, 10 points per melee. Per minute, it takes 1 melee round of concentration to activate. Yeah.
I was scared.
Pretty cool.
So yeah, you could all learn that if you wanted to.
I was like,
The only issue is Cannabella's not here.
almost all night long.
I could check her character sheet. I just don't want to force that onto her. Although it's only 15, I could just be like, here you go, here's a free ability. Nope, she's got Lightning Rider. That's why I put everybody's character sheet in the desktop. So that's an option too. You guys could be zipping around quite easily using Lightning Rider.
Another time, she's like, eat dinner now. I'm like,
I would say that
oh my God.
they would just have to follow me, right? Because I've got the computer skills to to get us where we're going.
So
Nah.
yeah, so the way that would work is the way that I would work this is I would have you do your computer operations check if you're going to do a modem call. So you can do it two ways. You could do just the pick up the phone, dial a phone number, and that forms the bridge. Like that creates the bridge that you need to go on because it's ringing, and you're just following that impulse. And in that form,
Gotcha.
you'll all be able to follow that impulse. It'll look like a beacon traveling down the wire, and you'll have enough, awareness just to follow that. And when you get to the end of it, you pop out of the phone receiver.
Like Casper did.
Yep. Now to do computers, because you could also go through the computers. The way I would rule that is whoever wanted to be the leader, the person in front, would roll their computer operations check before jumping in. If the check is successful, you can form a bridge between computer to computer at that point. Because that doesn't have an open connection, right? Like you're setting up something to kind of be like a beacon on the other side.
Right.
Whereas a phone line's going to be a constant, steady connection between the two because it's a ringing. The computer is going to be more like you're going to set something up to follow. But after that, you could create that connection and then you could all leap through it. I would say after the third person, there's 4 of you. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 of you.
5, yeah.
After the third person, depending on the system, I might roll a saving throw for the computer where it needs to pass a saving throw of 12 or better to avoid being damaged by the usage of this power. If it's damaged, I'll still let everybody get to where they're going, but you won't be able to use it to get back. The computer will be fried after the last person leaps out.
So a last-ditch effort possibility.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Phone lines are a little bit different. They're more prepared to handle this. And you could also use electrical grids. That I'll have you do regular checks of. I'll have to figure out which check I want you to run, but it'll be some navigation check in order to make sure you're going in the right direction. Like you would definitely want to look at a map before jumping in, and I'm talking like a utility map, not just like a road map. Like you're going to want to know where these wires go, because you'll have nothing. Like it'll just be you shooting down wires, kind of blind. But you can leap out of the wire whenever you want. So it's very versatile power. It's very versatile.
Gotcha.
Let's do a quick time check on Frail because I see it's 6:52 on my end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It is. It's 8 minutes till.
Okay.
So could we just have them call somebody in New Mexico that's close enough to where they were and have them answer the phone and let them know that we're coming through?
Yeah. You could do that. You
Okay.
can do that to anywhere you want to go.
And then we can, and then we'll pick up on actually getting there when
And you don't actually
2
have
weeks.
you don't actually have to have anybody answer the phone either. It just has to be
Oh,
ringing.
okay.
It's
It
just
has to
call
ring.
linking. It's like getting there to ring.
It just can't be
Yeah.
a dead side. Like there has to be a number.
Right.
Like it has to be ringing on the other side. So if there's if there's no phone plugged in, it ain't gonna work.
Okay, then in that case, I'm going to get their phone number here.
Okay.
That way, in case we have to call and come back.
It's
Makes
public
sense.
knowledge. It's a public knowledge phone. He's got no problem giving you the phone number to the downstairs bar. It's on their website. Here you go. Here's a card. It's got the phone number right there.
They have a website in
Yeah.
2000?
2000 had the internet, man.
Not much of it.
I mean, you were getting around with MapQuest in the year 2000.
Well, that's true.
Oh
HBO
man,
had a
putting out
website.
MapQuest.
Yeah, dude. Oh God, you remember printing out MapQuest? Remember that?
When we'd go to Carnegie or we'd go to Six Flags, we printed out MapQuest. Jesus Christ.
You'd be holding it like on top of your steering wheel
Yeah.
while you're driving. Like, where the fuck
I had
is this
people that
road?
were map illiterate in my family. It was ridiculous.
God, I had the turn-by-turn directions printed out. I was like, I'm gonna get there, hell or high water, damn it! Like going over to a friend's house for the first time and like having to pull over and be like, I don't know where you are, man. But okay,
Read signs.
so that'll end us here tonight then, since Frail's got to
Okay.
get going. And it's 10 o'clock now. But yeah, all right. Sounds like we got a plan.
All right.
Alrighty.